Are you ready to build some toys? Let's do it. I am excited. Hi everyone, this is Morgan of Morgs and Friends. If you're new here, I am a sugar glider educator, and I also am what I call a vendor. So I make safe toys, safe pouches, safe scarves for sugar gliders and other exotic pets, and I also run a subscription box where I do toy kits and teach how to make toys. So if you're new here, welcome. You can check out the website and everything down below. And I hope you guys like my new setup. We moved some stuff around. I now have a desk that's able to be filmed a lot easier, so you can actually see me and what I'm doing. So let me know in the comments if you like my new setup. And this video is also unofficially sponsored by Sonic, but if Sonic decides that they want to support my soda addiction, all right, let's get into it. So this is actually from one of the subscription boxes. So I'm trying something new. Let me know if you have the subscription box. Instead of having to use so much ink and paper, I figured that just doing a video tutorial might be a little bit easier. So let me know what you think of it. This way I can answer any questions that I think I may have that I can't necessarily write out, and you can see me actually do it. So I'm excited. Okay, so the toy today is a fry basket toy. So you're gonna get a few things in the kit if you got the kit, or if you're following along, you can find a lot of these things at the vendors below, or you can ask any questions and I will answer them. But first, it comes with a fry basket. Now I have pre-drilled the holes in this, and we'll talk about that a little later. And then it comes with 6 7-inch pieces of chain. And then it comes with 4 5-inch pieces of chain, 1 30-inch piece of chain, 2 bangles, 2 C-links and C-link covers, 10 zip ties, and then what you'll also need is a drill. I get a lot of questions about this. I use the Ryobi from Home Depot. This is just kind of this isn't the crazy one. This is just kind of the domestic around the house one. And the drill bit that I always use is the 1/8. This is what I use for most of the holes. It fits the zip ties the best. Just making sure it's in there. There. And so you want that to be really centered and lined up. And then you're also going to need a pair of cuticle nippers. So these you can get on Amazon. What you're going to want to do is you're going to remove all of the sharp plastic tabs from the molds off of the chain. So I'm not going to do that on the video now because I've already done that, but keep in mind you're going to want to do that before starting anything. Alright, so first things first, the fry basket, the orientation is going to be like this. So it's going to be a really cute little toy that they can climb in and sit in, and you can hide treats and create a toy bin in there. And so at the bottom, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I've drilled 2 vertical holes, 2 horizontal holes, and then everything else is going to attach into the grates. I also forgot to mention you're going to need one of these pulley rings as well for the pulleys. If the hole is too small for your zip tie to go through, no big deal. You can generally take a smaller drill bit and then gradually work it up. Don't go too fast because a lot of times you can crack this, but sometimes you can just carve out the center to get that zip tie through. So that's usually what I will do. So let's get into it. Okay, so now that I have my holes drilled in here, I also have my rubber animal. There are horizontal holes that I drilled with the 1/8 drill bit, or actually vertical, my bad, right on top of each other. So those are right there. And what you want to do is this is going to attach in to the center and then attach the pulley ring to the bottom. So to get the zip tie in there, first what I want to do is I want to set it up how I want it. So I'm gonna put it through the ring first. And then I'm going to come up through the basket. And you can see my little zip ties right there. And then what I'm going to do is, see, that is like secure in there. The hole is small enough that I'm not gonna pull it through. So I can just kind of hold this and let it dangle. And what I wanna do is I'm gonna fold the like top, probably like third of the zip tie. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna put tension on it. So while folded, I'm going to put it up through the duck and then let it open. And then that way I can pull it through the other side of the hole. So what I'm gonna do is, first I'm going to fold this. I don't know if you can see that. It's hard, the light's so bright, I can't exactly see what you can see, but I don't know if you can see that. But that's like at a 90-degree angle right now. So, and I usually will look at the space between the holes too, just to make sure it's big enough. So if your rubber toy has like a really big hole, and then you drill the small hole next to it, it'll be easier if you start your zip tie up through the big hole and then, or up through the small hole and then have it like pop out to go through the big hole. You're gonna have a much easier time than trying to maneuver it to go through that very tiny hole from the big hole, if that makes sense. So, what I'm gonna do now is, if you can see what I'm doing, I'm literally holding that down, and then I'm gonna thread this up through the back while it's folded. And then as I have it, so it's just about to, the nose is just about to pop through. So I'm gonna direct that in and let that open and pull. So sometimes it takes a little bit, a few tries. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that through. It takes me a few tries still too, so don't get discouraged. Sometimes too, if you get frustrated, you just put it down, like, go get a snack. But yeah, so I'm gonna try it one more time here on camera, otherwise I'm gonna do it off camera so you don't have to see me like keep trying with this. But I'm gonna go in here, gonna feed it up, let it up, and then pull it. Cool. So I got it, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but that little tail that I folded is now through the hole. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna hold that there with my thumb. I'm not gonna let anything happen to that. And I'm going to take my cuticle nippers and grab it very lightly. You definitely don't wanna cut that end off, so be really careful. But then I'm gonna start to pull it through. So you can see that right here. And then I'm pulling that in. And what that's gonna do is, that's number one, going to attach him. So I'm gonna even that all out to how I want it. I'm gonna look at the orientation of my zip tie. So I have like the outside end facing out. So now that I have that through, I'm gonna go through the other end. So you have two vertical holes drilled. So I'm going through the other hole. And it looks like this. So this is where I have right now. So you can see I have the two legs of the zip tie, my duck is attached, and then I have my ring on there, so I don't have to worry about it. You can also attach it through on the other end, but I just like to have the ring on first. I don't have to worry about it, I don't have to think about it. Okay, so what you want to do now is you want to move this to the outside, and what's going to happen is you're going to be able to secure the zip tie down against the basket and then cut the excess off and have that zip tie be flush. So what we're gonna do is we're now going to close it. And you wanna make sure you have that zip tie out so that way it has full access with the pulley ring. So, or the pulley ring facing out so it has full access and can hang down like that. So now you can see that I have the fastener that's gonna go flush against the basket. And I'm gonna pull that as tight as I can. I'm a weakling, don't judge me. But now you see that my duck is secure and my pulley ring is secure. So now I have this. So I'm gonna take my cuticle nippers and I'm gonna go flush to that fastener as far down as I can. And I'm gonna cut that off. And I always like feel it just to make sure that I don't feel any sharp points. This you can throw away. So now you have this together. So now you have your little duck friend, and then you have your pulley ring attached. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put on like the charm, like the chain for the charms. So you're gonna take another zip tie, and you're gonna take one 5-inch piece, one 7-inch piece, and another 5-inch piece. So I like to put these on first, and again, what you're going to do, before I forget, to drill the holes in the basket, I like to put it flat down on a surface. I use a cutting board. This is literally a $2 cutting board from IKEA. And I put it down so that way it's flush to the cutting board. Otherwise, you risk cracking it and making it unusable. So that's my recommendation on how to mitigate any kind of cracks or things like that. So when I put things like this together, I always try to think about where the fastener is going to end up and like the direction that it's going to go in. I tend to like having the fastener on the outside, which means I'm going to start on the inside hole. So now that I've threaded my chain, I'm going to go in that inside hole right here, and I'm going to thread it up from the bottom. And then I keep my finger there because these actually can fall off the fastener. They look like they shouldn't, but they can, and I just want to save you from the frustration of having them fly off too. So now that we've gone up through the basket, we're going to come out through the other side of that hole. So the hole that's right next to it. So it's going to look like that, if you can see. And then what you're going to do is the same thing you did with the pulley ring. I just kind of like to adjust these, but you're going to pull these off to the side so that they're not going to get in the way. And then you're going to go ahead and close this. So by doing that, now it's going to allow it to go all the way to, as far as you can, to the basket. And you want to pull it as tight as you can closed. And then once that's tight enough and you're happy with it, you're going to adjust these, and then you can cut the excess off. So we're going to go ahead, and again, you're going to put your cuticle nippers down to the end of the fastener and just snip that off. And then you're going to make sure, okay, like that's really smooth. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on the other end. So this is where you should be at right now. And I just like to organize that, make it look all cute. Perfect. So this is where you should be currently. So you have the little friend in here, and then you have the chain hanging down. So now what we're gonna do is, I always like to put the bottom together first and then build the top part so that it just gets it out of the way. Okay, so to attach the top now of the toy, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take my 4 zip ties, and what I like to do is I like to start at the center because that helps me keep it really evenly measured. What I'm first gonna do is I'm going to thread my chain onto the zip tie, and then I'm going to look here and I'm gonna find the center line on the side, which is right here, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna find that center line, and then I'm going to count over 5 boxes. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look for this outer line right here, and I'm gonna look for this cross right here. And that's gonna make it so it's a much stronger connection, but that it lays really well. So I'm gonna go in here, and I always do the outer one, and then that way it can help me keep it even. So I'm gonna wrap that around, and that's going to give it an anchor point rather than just having it on that bar, because these bars can be a little bit flimsy. So then what I do is I tighten that as much as I can. What that does is it gives it a nice flat appearance. So then what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to take my cuticle nippers, I'm going to go flush to the fastener, I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to make sure that it's nice and smooth. So there's the first one. And now I'm gonna go attach the other 3 and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I have these all attached, this is what this looks like right now. So then what I'm going to do is I am going to take these ceilings. These are actually glow-in-the-dark ceilings from Jessica's Attic. The link is below if you want to purchase anything from her. She has awesome toy supplies. She's pretty much where I get all of my toy supplies. But what I do is I start in the front corner. I don't know why I do. It's just that's where I found works the best. And I'm going to pull the chain up and I'm going to make sure that it's not twisted and it's laying as flat as I can. That's going to make it a difference with the sizing and like how even it is. So there we go. And then I go around evenly to put it onto the chain. So there we go. Or to put it onto the ceiling, my bad. And then up one more. Perfect. So this is where we're at right here. So then I kind of play with it to see like, okay, do I need, what do I need from it? So do I need like one of the chains to be shorter? Is it not laying right? So if I want to see if I need one chain shorter or if I just need to reorganize how these are on the ceiling, before I do any cutting, I'll maybe take it and like remove one link off of it and put it on there to make sure like, oh, okay, you know what, that does lay way better. And then I can see how that balances. So this is where we're at. And then before you give this to the gliders, I give 2 C-links because I feel that it lays best that way when you hang it up. And then, but you always want to make sure that you put on C-link covers because they can get pinched in these tiny little openings. So some of these have really sharp edges on them, so you're going to want to cut that off with your cuticle nippers before you put that in the cage. Always run your hand over it to make sure that it won't cut you. But let's go ahead and put the pulley on now. This is the last thing that we have to do to build this toy, and then you can pretty much just add your charms. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 30-inch piece of chain, and you're going to take a zip tie, and you're going to put it through the last link. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your bangle, and you're going to put that on your zip tie as well. And then you're just going to close it. And then you're going to organize it in such a way, so this is where I like to have it, and then you're going to tighten it. So this is what that looks like. So now we're going to cut the excess zip tie off. Flush, we're going to feel to make sure that's smooth. So now we still have our empty end of our chain. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take, remember that pulley that we put on there? We're going to thread this through. And then you're going to attach your bangle to the other side. So you're going to take your zip tie, you're going to put it through the bangle, you're going to put the bangle on top, and then you're going to close it. So then you're going to tighten that, and then you're going to cut this flush to the bangle. Flush to the fastener, excuse me. So now you have the bones of this toy built, and then you can customize it however you want, and you can add your charms, your chain, whatever you want, whatever colors you want. But yeah, this is what got sent out with the box. So if you want your own toy kit subscription box, the link is down below to subscribe to that. Otherwise, if you just want to build your own, I hope that this was easy to follow along with. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Any little bit helps. I really appreciate you guys. And thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them below. I try to answer them as best I can. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!